Alright, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. This is the new animated show based on the Scott Pilgrim graphic novel, and also kind of a spiritual successor to the movie, and more of a pure adaptation than the movie because it's got the same cast as the movie. Even to people like I did not expect. I did not expect Chris Evans to come back, Brie Larson, Anna Kendrick. Like, I'm sure they could have gotten, I forget the guy who plays Scott. He's not really got a lot going on in Hollywood. The last movie I saw him in was Paws of Fury, and he was pretty awful. That was a pretty awful movie. So, he's not got a lot going on in Hollywood. You got Mary Winstead, but she's kind of big, but she also doesn't mind doing nerdy stuff. She was just in Ahsoka, so I can see them getting people like them back, but they got like everybody back, which was just really shocking to me. But I was reading a lot of interviews, and just the cast loves that movie. So, and I get it because it's a great movie, and I loved reviewing it. So my review up for that movie if you want to see that. But I also love watching this show because holy shit, this is awesome. The animation in this show, first off, is gorgeous. It's wonderfully animated, and it perfectly captures the graphic novels. I haven't read the graphic novels, so I'm not going to compare too much an adaptation or what's different. But just from the panels and images I've seen in the books, it's like a one-to-one recreation. It's insane, actually. The action is very fluid, and even just scenes where characters are just talking, it's just like, yeah, it's really good. It's just really well done, and it's just great to look at. I was really shocked by this show because some people have told me that the graphic novel is different from the movie, but they didn't really explain to me how. And I thought it was just minor differences. It's not. This is a completely different story that has a completely different narrative. It's still the main point and objective, which is that Scott and Ramona need to learn to become better people and fight off her exes so they can be together. And that's good and all. But there are certain points that I think the movie did better. Like, I feel like, how he ends his relationship with Knives was a lot better than it was done in the movie than in the show. But for the most part, I think almost everything was done a lot better in this show. And also, I love this world of Scott Pilgrim that this show specifically does. I mean, the movie had this too. Obviously, there was a lot of video game references in the movie, but in this show there's a lot more, and also there's just a lot of pop culture references, but they're pop culture references in a way where I'm not really sure when this takes place. It could be the 90s, could be the 80s, I'm guessing early 2000s, but you could just kind of told me whenever they made up a time where all these pop culture things still exist together, and it's just really cool like that. I love the vibe and all this. Yeah. And the voice acting is just so good. That original cast, hearing all their voices, just makes you so engaged with it. It's just an awesome, awesome show. And a great, thing to watch if you're a Scott Pilgrim fan of whether it be the movie or the graphic novels. Freaking phenomenal.